Okay. Last summer, I bought one of these from Harbor Freight for an irrigation project that we have. We had some issues where we had to shut down our pumps, and so we had stored water in other places we needed to move around, or at least have the ability to do so, while for so many days our pumps were down. And so that's what I bought this for. Now, there were people talking during the Palisades fires. I said, oh, you can get a pump and just pump out of your pool and maybe save your situation or whatever. Now, that's true depending on the fire situation. I mean, if it's kind of like if there's embers in the air and grass fires, something small enough around you, things you can stop. If you have a big roaring fire, you're out of there before you'll ever get close enough to put it out, because it's just so much heat. So with the limitations, it's not saying that this is the fix-all. I'm trying to remember, but I think I paid a little over $200 for this thing. Works right out of the box. Let's see here, 79cc gasoline engine, intake, discharge, water pump. This is the smallest of this style of pump, of a gas-driven pump. The next size up is 2 or 3 inches. That's where I was going. I'm glad I didn't buy that. Like I said, this is the smallest. The advantage you have here is it doesn't go through water hyper fast, okay? This thing does, I have a 200 and some odd gallon tank that I run out of, and it didn't take me long to empty it. Let me put it that way. I should have put that in the video. You'll see some, I'll put the clips in the end, but anyhow. This thing works, does a great job. It says gallons per minute, maximum flow, 35 gallons per minute at 0 feet. I think that means if you're not, pushing water up a hose or whatever. Head lift, I think is the same thing if you're pushing water up something. Okay, this is how far down, 26 feet. So let's say if you had a pool, okay, nobody has a pool that's 26 feet deep, so you're pretty safe there. If you have a body of water, if you have a tank or something in the back of your truck, this works really well, but it's a 1 inch, which means you're going to, this is an adapter here. You'll have to buy a hose if you want to pull something out of the pool or something like that. But this is just a regular pipe fitting. You can adapt this where you could run a hose. It comes with a filter for the end of whatever hose you use. So you could pull something out of your pool. Mine is set up for a tank, so it's actually sets up like this. You'll see it in the rest of the video. I'll show you how I do that. And then this feeds into it. And then it's got I've set up for a regular garden hose. I was looking into getting a fire hose, like 1.5 inches. This does not produce that kind of pressure. You need the bigger style pump for that. This is great for a garden hose. Most effective, this works with a 50-foot garden hose. Something you buy at Lowe's or Harbor Freight or whatever the case is. And you'll see that in the video. I did purchase I forgot what it was called. It's a cloth style hose, 100 foot. Hoping that, I wanted that because I could fold it up. In the wintertime, it gets very cold here in the mornings. If I had to use a hose in the morning and it was coiled up, the moment I take it apart, it's going to break up. So I wanted something that was cloth, like a fire hose that would not freeze up and get stiff and all that. So I bought, I'll show that in the picture. I bought a cloth type hose. It's about 70, 80 bucks for 100 foot. 100 foot is too long. You'll have no pressure at the other end. Okay, I think 50 foot, maybe 60 feet might be as far as you'd want as far as a hose on this thing. If you had to custom cut a hose or something like that, because you start to lose pressure. The volume will be there, but you won't have enough pressure behind it. And it could be that the hose I use might just be too soft, that style of hose. But anyhow, we're not using that. A regular garden hose, 50 feet. This thing, I'll throw it close to 50 feet from you. You can get to the top of your house real easy, whatever the case is. It does a good job with a 50-foot hose. Okay, once again, not a raging forest fire, but if you had fire near you and there's embers landing and starting and maybe a grass fire behind the house or something like that, this is effective. Now I've set mine up for a tank that goes in the back of the truck. This goes next to it, and I pump out of a tank, so it's mobile. This is lightweight. You can lift it with one hand. It's not, it's not a V8 engine or anything like that. So watch the video. I'll just show some clips. There's one where the pressure looks really good from a white tan colored hose. That's the 50-footer. There's one where it doesn't look so good, where it's a green hose. That's about 100 feet. So it kind of gives you the difference. It just depends on what you're trying to do. But if you could move around your place, well, maybe you could move around your place if you're going from a pool, but I would think if you had a hose in your pool that was 50 feet and you could draw from it, I would assume this would work in that regard. And you could move around with this on a hose and get some work done. But if you're looking for some type of pump in a fire situation, this from Harbor Freight, it's a Predator. I think I paid a little over $200 for it. And it works. Starts right up. It's a clean running little machine. Have no problem starting it. And like I said, with a 50-foot hose, it works. Now there's other applications like for irrigation. That's not as big an issue because you're not really, you're just moving water. That's a different deal. But if you're trying to put out fires, you want this thing to blast out there pretty good, like a fire hose does. And this did it with a 50-foot regular garden hose. And you'll see, I'll put some clips in now. You can see some of what it did. Love you. God bless.